Seasons and feelings. So I was thinking today. So we've just recently got had a cold snap here in Texas, and so we've had our first nights down in the 30s. And I was thinking about the fact that every season kind of has its feeling. Also, the light on my face is pretty weird here, but that's a part of the season as well because the sun is dropping down to where it's making my nose very illuminated. There's the kind of comfy coziness of fall. It's that feeling of like when you're out in the cold and you come back in and it's warm. That sort of feeling like you could drift off, or that feeling of comfort from being, having warmth or warm food or drink. So kind of that cozy and that feeling of relaxation after coming in from the cold. Winter, you have, of course, there's Christmas and the holiday season time, and then there's the going on to the winter, and there's the fresh beginning of the year. There is it can also be just the cold, wet drear, and all that. And of course, this obviously is very different depending where you live, right? But in Texas, we also have a number of pretty mild days throughout the winter too, and so winter is not a horrific season to get through in Texas most times. Now, once in a while, we get a serious storm of some kind, what we call serious, that basically shuts everything down. But barring that, usually most of the winter is actually pretty workable, pretty good. Of course, spring, the new life, that smell in the air as things warm up, and the opportunities, the energy that seems to come with the season. Now, summer, there can be the summer nights, the warm air. I don't know. There's the long days can be nice and be fun. Here in Texas, it seems like we've got an awful lot of summer. We have no shortage of summer. So in some ways, it's probably the least fun season, partly just because of how long it can be. So it depends. Like this, it often doesn't get too hot too fast in the spring, I would say. But once you get into June, or even May, it can be getting pretty toasty. And then we can really have summer all the way through pretty much October. Like this year, fortunately, we didn't. It moderated. I would say around the beginning of October, I think. But it can still just feel like hot in October. And anyway, but I think as I'm getting older, I think I'm kind of more taking it as it comes a little bit too, to where I'm like, sure, I don't like being in month 4 of like 90, 100 degree weather or whatever, but hey, it'll disappear when it wants to disappear, and I'll just relax and get through it, and whenever it disappears, it disappears. So anyway, I think probably in life, probably there's different seasons as well. And if you think back on different eras of your life, you probably have different feelings that you associate with those times. I know I had a pretty rough patch in my late teens, early 20s, I would say. That was probably, in some ways, my most least fun time of life. And, but yeah, there's things that I would like to have better right now, but in many ways, this is the best time of my life to this point. There were cool things, there were nice things about other times in life, but as I've talked about before, the interstate and the outer state, those don't necessarily correlate directly. And as I think about my interstate now compared to my interstate other times in life, I don't know if it's the best time, but it's pretty much it's up there, I'd say. Our family's at an age where it's fun. We have fun sitting around the table making jokes and laughing and the kids have, yeah, we've got a teenager. Soon we'll have 3 teenagers in the house. The youngest ones aren't difficult to care for. They're pretty independent. And, we're kind of doing this adventure of life together. And my wife and I have been married for quite a while now, so, what I consider quite a while. And that's always a work in progress. There's still a lot that we have learned and have benefited from by now. So, anyway, it's a good season. It's nice. The weather is cool. And I'm a blessed man.